Buenas noches, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos, gracias por acompañarnos en nuestra noche de quiz. So tonight we're back to the quiz night where we practice grammar and when we talk a little bit about Spanish and everything related to it. So I'm very happy to see you back. Welcome everyone. Who do we have today? Julia. Hola Julia, ¿qué tal? Good to see you. Welcome. So, as I was saying, yes, this is again one of our grammar quizzes, the ones that we used to do before. And today we're going to be talking about one grammar point that I have been working with my students these past weeks, actually, that is called the futuro compuesto. Hola Hazel, bienvenida. Good to see you. So, el futuro compuesto, maybe some of you know it. As you know, like we have a lot of ways of expressing the future in Spanish, as in like any language. And the futuro compuesto is one of them. Now, what is the futuro compuesto? Right, let's see this. When do we use el futuro compuesto? Let's start with this, actually. This is more pertinent. Let's go. So, el futuro compuesto. El futuro compuesto, we use it to express an action in the future that will take place before another event in the future. Por ejemplo, let me remove myself so you can see the timeline here. En 2 años habremos visitado todo Andalucía. Tenemos now, 2 años y habremos visitado. So as you can see, we're still talking about the future, but we do have 2 events in the future here. The first one is the time, 2 años talking about, of course, what that's going to happen soon in the future in 2 años, but something is going to happen before those 2 años. And that is when our futuro compuesto takes action. Habremos visitado todo Andalucía. So if you observe the sentence, en 2 años habremos visitado todo Andalucía, we do have an equivalent in English. In English, we do say, in 2 years, we will have visited all Andalucía. Literally, that would be the translation. So the use is the same, an action in the future before another action in the future. But here what changes is the structure, and that is what we're going to see now. Now, when we talk about the form or the structure of the futuro compuesto, by the way, some teachers call the futuro compuesto futuro perfecto. So, if you are revising and you cannot find it with futuro compuesto, try futuro perfecto. That should work as well. So what about the structure of this sentence? En 2 años habremos visitado toda Andalucía. What is important is 3 components. En 2 años, the one in blue, habremos, rojo, visitado, verde. Now let's analyze this. En 2 años, this is what we call a moment in future. Now, what can we use in order to replace this? Well, we can use esta noche, tonight, mañana por la mañana, tomorrow morning, el próximo siglo, next century. So we need to place ourselves somewhere in the future because that's going to be our final point, and then we're going to express what's happening before that, right? Now, what do we have next? Habremos. This is what we call an auxiliary verb, and you probably know it. This is the auxiliary haber. In future simple. En 2 años nosotros habremos, okay? So that's our second part of the structure. And then we have visitado. So this green part, visitado, always comes up, right? When we are practicing grammar in Spanish. This is what we call the past participle of the verb. In this case, the verb visitar, which is a regular verb ending in ado. Now, important to mention, the moment in future in Spanish, you can place it also at the end of the sentence and it doesn't lose the meaning. So you can do that. Habremos visitado todo Andalucía en 2 años. You can even put it in the middle. Habremos visitado en 2 años todo Andalucía. So, sometimes with these components, you can be playful a little bit in Spanish and the meaning, it's still there. So do it, for fun and for a change. Why not? Right, so here we have the structure that we're going to be using. Now, I have to say, the past participle, we have to keep revising. We have to keep practicing. Now, of course, the ones, when we talk about the verbs that end in ar, ir, when they are regular verbs, such as this one, visitar, visitado, ir, to go, ido, or sentir, sentido. But we do have some verbs that are irregular. Now, this is when it comes a bit tricky, with this structure. Do you remember any irregular verbs? I will give you some examples. Some irregular verbs would be, for example, abrir would be abierto, the past participle, morir, muerto, or decir, dicho. So as you can see, it can even change completely from decir, and then we are getting rid of that e and that se and that i, and it's like dicho. So this is very important, to keep up with these conjugations, as they will always come up. And sometimes we need that extra thinking, like, oh, is it decir? So it's not decido. But, this is what we're going to practice tonight. So let's see how it goes. Yes, pudding smart. Also, hacer, that would be another irregular verb, and the conjugation would be hecho. Muy bien. Actually, that one is really important because, of course, the verb hacer, to do, it's always there. It's always present. So well done. Thank you for sharing that. And we have another one, ver, and as well as visto. Good. Now, let's move on. Our quiz. So in our quiz, we're going to revise the use of structure. And also I want you to be very vigilant when it comes to details about the conjugation and, the use of the context, right? So let's go here. And before we continue to the quiz, I want to remember to my students that tomorrow we're going to be linking this lesson to more oral practice, okay? So if you want to go and book the lesson, it's already there. If you have done it, good. And if you don't, well, do it. And also, if you have any questions, regarding what we are practicing, or if you want to learn Spanish, or if you want to say hello or hola to me, this is my email at carlos@casaspanish.co.uk. So please send me a message. I'm always happy, to answer whatever question you might have. There you go. Now, let's start with our quiz. Let me remove this. Number 1, this is going to be complete the sentence. Listen to me. El próximo año, las obras completas de Cervantes. So we have 3 options. A, el próximo año habré leído las obras completas de Cervantes. B, el próximo año habré leído las obras completas de Cervantes. O C, el próximo año habré leído las obras completas de Cervantes. So what would be the option here? You can, of course, just put A, B, or C. You can even type down, the whole thing if you want to practice a bit further. So it's up to you. What do we have? Putting smart is betting for B. Jim, hello Jim, buenas noches, is betting for A. Julia is betting for A, and Hazel is betting for A. And our answer here is A. Muy bien. Excellent, guys. So in this case, we have habré leído las obras completas de Cervantes. As you can see, the structure is there. We're still talking to a point in the future, el próximo año. We have our auxiliary, habré, and then we have a past participle of the verb leer. So well done. Very good indeed. Moving on, let's do number 2. ¿Correcto o incorrecto? A las 9 de la noche ya habremos cenado. A las 9 de la noche ya habremos cenado. What do you guys think? Is it correct? Is it incorrect? And of course, if you think it's incorrect, I'm very happy, you know, when you give me your options, when you give me your ideas, like why you think this is incorrect. So let's give it a thought. A las 9 de la noche ya habremos cenado. And we have Pudding Smart saying is correcto, Jim correcto, and Hazel correcto. And you guys are correct. Excellent. This is a correct sentence. So I just want to, you know, I'm always trying to trick you a little bit because we have that ya before the structure. We still have the structure a las 9 de la noche, point in time, habremos auxiliary, but then that ya give us that already extra information. So at 9 p.m. Tonight, we will have already had dinner, basically. So very good. Let's move on to number 3. Completa. Now, time to conjugate a little bit. ¿Tú crees que a las 9 p.m. ya habrás tu tarea? Yo creo que sí. So what do we need here? We're looking for the past participle, right? ¿Tú crees que a las 9 de la noche ya habrás tu tarea? Yo creo que sí. What do you guys think? Type down your answer. Let's practice a little bit and let's see what we have. So Julia is giving us the correct answer. Muy bien, Julia. Hecho. Hazel, excelente. Jim, muy bien. Pudding Smart, excelente. So that will be our answer. ¿Tú crees que a las 9 de la noche ya habrás hecho tu tarea? Yo creo que sí. And remember, you know, because the good thing, the devil is in the details, as we say, because when we ask a question in Spanish, especially a yes or no questions, we always tend to go up, right? ¿Tú crees que a las 9 de la noche ya habrás hecho tu tarea? So there you have it. Use it and do it so it sounds more natural. Moving on, you're doing great. Completa. No creo que la mesa para el lunes. Los colores son algo exagerados. So we're pushing up a little bit the level. No creo que la mesa nos habrá vendido para el lunes. Los colores son algo exagerados. No creo que la mesa se habrá vendido para el lunes. Los colores son algo exagerados. No creo que la mesa habrá vendido para el lunes. Los colores son algo exagerados. So, what do you guys think? What are we trying to express here, and what is the correct answer? Let's go with the letters. Hazel is betting for B. Pudding Smart is also betting for B. Jim B. And guys, you are correct. That is amazing. No creo que la mesa se habrá vendido para el lunes. Los colores son algo exagerados. So as you can see, I was trying to trick you, you know, with that nos, because I was trying to see whether you would place the pronoun correctly or the subject of what we're talking about. So this se is what we call the impersonal se. So we're not saying who is selling the table. Is just like the action that is going to be sold. So basically we're saying, I don't think that the table will have been sold or will have been sold for Monday. The colors are a bit exaggerated. So well done. Moving on. Cinco. ¿Correcto o incorrecto? Antes de visitar Hawái, habré ido a clases de surf. Antes de visitar Hawái, habré ido a clases de surf. ¿Qué piensan? ¿Qué les... ¿Correcto, incorrecto? Si es incorrecto, ¿cómo podemos corregir? Si es... Tenemos a Jim que nos dice que es correcto. Putting smart es correcto. Julia, correcto. And this is completely correct. Muy bien, Hazel. También aquí lo que tenemos. Antes de visitar Hawái, habré ido a clases de surf. So, interesante, podemos usar el verbo, we can use the verb ir when we talk about a course or a lesson, like literally to go to English lessons or something. En español, in Spanish, is correct if we use it that way. Muy bien. 6. Completa. Antes de que llegue a casa, mi madre habrá un pastel de chocolate. Antes de que llegue a casa, mi madre habrá un pastel de chocolate. Hornear, remember that H is silent. So we're going with the verb hornear, which means to bake. Okay. What do we have? Hazel, excelente, pasado participio, horneado, putting smart, horneado, Jim, horneado. Muy bien. So that would be our answer. Antes de que llegue a casa, mi madre habrá horneado un pastel de chocolate. Excelente. Seguimos, continuamos en el número 7. Completa. Mañana, a esta hora, Julián y Mónica a su familia anfitriona en Delhi. Mañana a esta hora, Julián y Mónica habrán conocidos a su familia anfitriona en Delhi. Mañana a esta hora, Julián y Mónica habrán conocida a su familia anfitriona en Delhi. Mañana a esta hora, Julián y Mónica habrán conocido a su familia anfitriona en Delhi. Vocabulario, anfitriona o familia anfitriona, host family. So, for example, if you are the host of a party, you can say, soy el anfitrión. If you're a woman or female, soy la anfitriona de la fiesta. So that it's a very nice word, I think. I like words with F and T. I don't know why. So here, the grammar, what do we have? Putting smart is betting for se, Jean se, Hazel se, Julia se, and you guys are correct. Good. Now, the reason why I put that S in A, because sometimes actually we tend to forget that the past participle doesn't accord with the subject or the object. But well done here. The answer is C. Excelente, chicos. Continuamos. 8. ¿Correcto o incorrecto? Si todo va bien, este verano habré escrito mi primer libro. Si todo va bien, este verano habré escrito mi primer libro. So if this is correct, leave it as it is. If this is incorrect, go on and tell me why this is incorrect. You can do this. I believe in you. And that little expression there, like, si todo va bien, I would say adopt it because it's a nice way to say, like, if everything is okay, blah, 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 something will happen. So, si todo va bien, mañana iremos al cine. Si todo va bien, el próximo año compraré una casa, etcétera, etcétera. So in this case, what do we have? Let me see. It is incorrect. You are correct. Putting smart. Hazel is giving us the answer. Muy bien. Giving us the correction. Escrito. Putting smart. Escrito. Escrito. Incorrecto. Escrito. And you guys are correct. Now, escrito. Funny thing to say, because when we are children, and we're learning how to speak, actually for children, it's very common to say escribido instead of escrito. Why? Because it comes natural actually to say escribido from the rule that we saw, because we have that B. So, that consonant gives us the hint to add the ido, and it does work. But escribir is irregular. And irregulars, they don't follow the rules. So that's the only reason. But very good. Escrito. Let's continue. Number 9. Completa. Now I want you to give me the auxiliary and the past participle. En diciembre, nosotros, un año de casados. En diciembre, nosotros, un año de casados. So what do we have? Take your time, type it down. There's no rush. The important thing is for you to practice. So how do we say this? En diciembre, un año de casados. What do we have? Julia, muy bien. Habremos cumplido. Hazel, excelente. Habremos cumplido. Jim, habremos cumplido. Putting smart, habremos cumplido. Muy bien. Habremos cumplido. Now, that verb cumplir, very important because it's very Spanish. It's like to reach like a certain age. So that's why we have it in the word cumpleaños, birthday, and we use it for other stuff such as this. For example, anniversaries. Cumplimos 3 años de casados, o cumplí 2 años en la compañía trabajando, etcétera, etcétera. So it's a very useful verb. Use it. Let's go to number 10. Completar. Esta tarde, vosotros, una solución a este problema. Esta tarde, vosotros habréis encontrado una solución a este problema. Esta tarde, vosotros habráis encontrado una solución a este problema. Esta tarde, vosotros habrán encontrado una solución a este problema. ¿Cuál es la respuesta correcta? What is a correct answer here? What do we have? Tenemos a, muy bien, Jim, a, Hazel, a, excelente, chicos. That is the correct answer. Habréis encontrado. So, of course, we don't say habrán encontrado because that is referring to you guys as well. But remember that that's the way we say it in Latin America. So in Spain, we would say vosotros habréis encontrado. Nice. Let's move on to number 11. Número 11. ¿Correcto o incorrecto? Dentro de una semana, a esta hora, Miguel ya habrán finalizado la defensa de su tesis doctoral. Is this correct? ¿Es incorrecto? ¿Por qué es incorrecto? Si piensas que es incorrecto, ¿cuál es la respuesta aquí, chicos? Dentro de una semana, a esta hora, Miguel ya habrán finalizado la defensa de su tesis doctoral. What do we have? Incorrecto. Jim, habrá. Julia, habrá. And Hazel, habrá as well. Very good, guys. That is the correct answer. Incorrecto, habrá. Now, That is the correct answer. I put it because sometimes just a little letter makes the difference. So in that case, and sometimes we don't hear it because when we speak very fast, it's like Miguel ya habrá finalizado la defensa de su tesis doctoral. But well done, well seen, and let's move on to the next one. Para el próximo siglo, me temo que muchas especies animales. Now, here we need three components, right? We need the auxiliary that you're going to use. You know how to use it. We need the past participle. And because this verb is reflective, where are we going to, put that se? Which way? So give it a go. I know you can do this, Para el próximo año, para el próximo siglo, me temo que muchas especies animales. So next century, I'm afraid that a lot of animal species. What do we have? Let me see. Jim se habrán extinguido. Hazel se habrán extinguido. Putting Smart habránse extinguido. Karen, buenas noches, Karen. Good evening. Se había extinguidos. And Hazel and Jim have the correct answers. Very, very good, guys. Hazel, se habrán. Jim, se habrán extinguido. That is the correct answer. So do remember that when we have that reflective verbs such as extinguirse, the pronoun goes first before the auxiliary. Se, and then the structure that you know, habrán extinguido. Nice, nicely done. Moving on, let's go to number 13. 13 de la suerte. Veamos qué tenemos. Hoy, a eso de las 4 de la tarde, mis padres a Madrid. Tres opciones. Hoy a eso de las 4 de la tarde, mis padres habrán llegado a Madrid. Hoy a eso de las 4 de la tarde, mis padres habrán llegado a Madrid. Y hoy a eso de las 4 de la tarde, mis padres habrán llegado a Madrid. What is the answer here? A, B, or C? A, B, or C? What do we have? Hazel is saying C, Jim C, Putting Smart, habrán llegado. Well done, writing them down. That's always good practice. Julia C y Karen habrán llegado. And the answer is habrán llegado. Well done, guys. Hoy, eso de las 4 de la tarde, mis padres habrán llegado a Madrid. Now, important expression, a eso de. This is an expression saying más o menos, more or less, around 4 p.m., 4 in the afternoon, okay? So use it, a eso de las 8 de la noche, a eso de las 3 de la tarde, etcétera, etcétera. So very useful expression. Moving on, let's go to 14. We're about to finish. Correcto o incorrecto. Para serte honesto, la próxima semana ya habré visitado ese museo, así que mejor vamos ahora. Para serte honesto, la próxima semana ya habré visitado ese museo, así que mejor vamos ahora. What does your gut tell you? Is this correct? Is this incorrect? If it's incorrect, tell me why. Tell us why. Why is this incorrect? Para serte honesto, la próxima semana ya habré visitado ese museo, así que mejor vamos ahora. What do you guys think? What are we trying to say here, actually? Yeah, I will give you the translation, but, try to think if this is correct or incorrect. Being honest, next week, that museum, so it's better if we go now. What is it? Correcto o incorrecto? Putting Smart is betting for correcto. Jim, I see a incorrecto, but we're not very sure. Uh-huh. Hazel is telling us incorrecto. It is not a precise future point in time. Interesting. Jim is saying this abres. Oh, because you're putting is like as in like habrás, right? As in tú habrás visitado. And Julia is saying incorrecto. Okay, so in this case, guys, this is correcto. Now, I know that the information that now here is a bit tricky and it's a bit intricate what we're trying to say, but basically what we're expressing is being honest, next week I will have already visited that museum. So it's better if we go now. So I'm kind of like telling this person, listen, I know myself, I'm not patient. So if we wait for next week, I will have visited that museum already. So let's go now. Otherwise, no, this is not going to happen. Uh, Actually, Jim, and if you put abras, it does work. It is okay. But now you're not talking about yourself. You're talking about that person, that you know that person, and they will have visited the museum by next week. So in that case, it works as well. But it is correct. It is correct what we're trying to say. It's intricate, but it's correct. Good. Now, let's do the last one. 15. El domingo por la tarde, mi familia y yo, la nueva película de Spielberg. We have our time in the future. El domingo por la tarde, mi familia y yo, la nueva película de Spielberg. Oh, we have a question from Jim. ¿Qué significa serte? Ah, interesting. Yes, let's go back. So that serte, if we remove that te, para ser honesto, being honest, it's general, right? But then if we have that te, para serte honesto a ti, being honest to you, being honest to you. So that te is the pronoun that is representing you, para serte, para voy a ir al supermercado, I'm going to go to the supermarket para comprarte leche, to buy milk for you. So that te is just giving us that extra information that we're talking about you. Now, moving on, sorry, there was a little pause, but that was the explanation. So now we're talking about this one. Sorry, guys, let's go back to the, yes. So that's why Jim is telling us, that's why I changed it to abras. I think that's why you were thinking about two, Jim. Yeah. I agree. But in this case, it doesn't change because you're still talking about, I'm being honest to you. It's just, like a little bit of extra information we say. But if you remove the te, it's still saying being honest. Because this doesn't translate well to English, but we do use it in Spanish just to give a little bit of emphasis, a little bit of oomph, like para serte honesto, being honest to you. So, and then the extra information. So yeah, good point. I think that's the reason why it was a bit, misleading, but there you go. What is it? Vale, gracias. You're welcome. De nada. Good. Now, going back to number 15, listen to me. Número 15, el domingo por la tarde, mi familia y yo, something, la nueva película de Spielberg. So, ¿qué tenemos? Putting Smart is saying, habremos visto, Jim habremos visto, Julia habremos visto, Rob dice, veamos, Hazel habremos visto, good, Hazel, but you're correcting yourself. Excellent. Habremos visto. No hay problema. And you guys are correct. El domingo por la tarde, mi familia y yo habremos visto la nueva película de Spielberg. So, remember, because we're talking about mi familia y yo, so that translates to that nosotros, we. And that's why we are using habremos, that auxiliary with nosotros in the future. So, well done, guys. That was amazing, amazing practice. As I can see, you are keeping up with your past participles. So that is a very, very good thing. That was really impressive. Also, guys, if you have any questions, if you liked actually this practice and you would like to, thank me, why not? Or just say hello, send me an email to carlos@casespanish.co.uk. Maybe you're curious about our lessons. Maybe you want, some private lessons. Whatever you need to say, I'm always there to help you. And as I was saying, to the students, if you arrived a bit late, tomorrow we're gonna have the practice of all this. I want you to do it orally. We're gonna have a little bit of conversations and a little bit more of practice. Maybe not too much on grammar because we have been seeing a lot of grammar. Now you know it, so we need to put it in practice. As always, controlled and then a bit more free. What do we have, Karen? Lo siento de llegar tarde. Acabo de encontrar tu correo en junk mail. Oh, it went to junk mail. I have to check that. Well, just take it out of junk mail, Karen. Sorry about that. I don't know why it happens sometimes. But like also if you follow the YouTube channel, if you say like follow the channel, it should give you I think it should like give you an ad or something, when I'm preparing to do a live session. It's probably going to be in 2 weeks time, but yeah, sorry about that. Pudding Smart, muchas gracias, Carlos. Disfruté eso. Thank you for coming and good answers as well. I can see that you have been studying Spanish for a while. And then we have Umay, Calamay. I know, I'm sorry about that. I have to pause for a little bit. Hace mucho tiempo sin los videos, but here we are. We are back and we are practicing. So thank you for coming. Julia, good to see you, Julia. As always, very dedicated and very good in your Spanish. And Hazel, muchas gracias, muy útil. You're welcome, Hazel. Thank you for coming, guys. So don't forget, as I said, if you have any questions, any, whatever you want to say, you have my email there, and I will see you next time. Also, if you have suggestions actually for topics or something you would like me to explain, or because I think the quizzes are good because the grammar sometimes we do know it, we have studied it, but we need to see the context and we need to be ready to answer in different types of context. So actually I think it definitely helps you a lot, guys. Right, I wish you all a good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, I mean wherever you're watching us, and I will see you next time in our next live. Let me see. Umay, I almost looking back to your videos and I thought you will stop. No, I'm not. I mean, as I said, I had to pause a little bit, but I will be creating more. Thank you for that. It's really encouraging, to be honest. Buenas noches, Putting Smart, and I will watch this later. Thank you for that, definitely, and share it as well. That helps a lot. And Karen, hasta la próxima. Yes, I will see you next time, Karen, as well. Good to see you back, actually. So, as I said, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye bye. Hasta luego. Adios.